Hey, welcome in. Today I'm going to be making press-ons for the first time. I am doing this star and cat eye and jelly polish design, and I hope you enjoy. So first I'm starting with a non-acid primer to kind of chemically etch these nail tips. They're basic nail tips. I got them on Amazon. And I do want to mention that after doing a little bit of research, I think buffing is typically the best method, using a buffer that looks kind of like this. So just something to keep in mind. I would probably do that the second time around. But yes, I'm going in with a base coat, same as I would with any set of nails, natural or on tips. And oopsie, the pinky nail is really hard to adhere to the little stance. But yes, going in for a full cure. And then I'm taking this beautiful leaf gel polish. Someone asked if I could link the products I'm using, so I'll do that in the description. But yes, I'm going in with one coat of it first, and I'm going through it really quickly and then doing a full cure because I'm not going to manipulate that with a magnet. This is just a base coat of that gel. So then I'm going with the second coat of the magnetic gel, and I'm taking the magnet, and I've showed this before, but I'm running the magnet along one side, along the opposite side, along the bottom, and then along the top. And this particular polish seemed to need a little bit more magnetic power to move. So I'm using that big magnet and I'm facing it toward myself, which is a technique I've seen a lot of people use. And then kind of running it along those same edges and perfecting it, as I go. And then I'm taking this little LED flashlight and flash curing. This is something that's super handy to have, just this little flashlight to do that. And I also wanted to mention that I think it's worth it sometimes if you are manipulating the polish with the magnet over and over again and you're really not seeing the design that you want come out of it. It makes sense sometimes just to take the brush, the polish brush, and just swipe it over the nail again. That helps to redistribute all the little glitters and magnetic bits that are in the polish and basically gives you a clean slate. And I think it's worth it to do that. Like anything in life, if you keep trying and trying and it's not working, just start over. But especially with this, because I think it, after a certain number of passes, just is kind of, it doesn't really self-correct. You kind of just have to start over. So here we go. We're all done. We're going to stick these into the lamp for a full cure. And then now comes the fun part. I'm using this D-gel painting gel, and I will be making some stars. You're going to make these stars the same way you would if you were just drawing them with a pen or a pencil. This was pointed out by in a video by Katie Dutra, whose YouTube channel I love, and I thought it was it's kind of obvious, I guess, but it's good to point out that you know how to do this. You can just draw 5 lines in the shape of a star and then fill them in. Painting gel like this, it's easy to get nice lines. It's opaque in one coat, and because it's a little bit thicker, it's easier to control. Like I said before, I'm still fairly new to this, so I'm getting used to that texture, but I really did enjoy this stuff, and I got it in black as well. It's weird, the black and the white have different consistencies, which I guess makes sense. They're different colors and different formulations, but yeah, it makes your work a lot easier to use a painting gel if you have one. But I've also done this with just a good white gel polish. You'll see that I'm using some surface cleanser on a flat brush to do any detail work. And the best part about this brush is that, this seems kind of, again, obvious to say, but the bristles are straight. So you can kind of use the straightness of the bristles to your advantage. You'll see there that I'm using that straight edge to sort of like chisel out a cleaner edge on the star. But you'll see that eventually I'm just not feeling that edge at all. So I just take the whole edge off, which is something I think right there that makes a lot of sense to do with this, because it gives you a really clean line just on that whole side. So yeah, don't be afraid to just lop off a whole edge if you're not liking the way it's looking. And to do this, I'm using a very basic striping brush. I would say it's about a medium size. And also using the straightness of the bristles on your striping brush to just sort of place, you can lay down the brush in kind of a straight line, is a nice way to get fairly clean lines. Another thing to note, I am using my pinky finger on my right hand, and I'm resting it on my left hand to kind of stabilize my right hand, which is what I'm painting with. I had a lot of coffee on this particular morning, and I was definitely shaking a little bit. And, it's funny, I have seen people recommend, placing your right hand on your left or your dominant hand on your non-dominant hand to stabilize. And I think I was just doing that anyway, because it's just sort of the natural way to stabilize. So you might find yourself doing it consciously or unconsciously. But anyway, so yeah, just going in and perfecting. This does take a second. I would say it's not hard, but it is a little nitpicky, I guess. And I'll also say that you might want to just walk away from the first star you've made and move on to the second star before curing either. And you might go back to that first star, and it's just like anything in life. If you're struggling with it and you keep struggling and struggling, maybe just walk away for a second and move on to the next star on that nail. And then when you go back, you can always use alcohol to clean up, or use your striping brush to add on that first one. Sometimes it becomes clear what you need after some time away. Again, deep life lessons here. And then, yeah, just sort of trying to create a nice composition on the nail. I think probably the thumbnail was my favorite. If I had to pick, it can be difficult to create the right amount of stars, the right size. You just sort of have to get, find your feel for it. But I think on this nail, you'll see that another thing to note is that you shouldn't be afraid to just take off a whole star and create a different composition if you're feeling like, this isn't turning out the way I want it to. So I think I show you kind of sped through the first 3 nails. And then we'll move on to the next part. In the meantime, I'm curious if anyone watching this has done press-ons. These are for a friend who wears press-ons very often, so I'm really curious to have her report back how they wear for her. I've done a little bit of research on how to create them, and it seems pretty forgiving. Like, I don't see many people saying that you need a very specific type of nail tip or, anything like that. So I'm curious to see how these go for her. And yeah, I decided to make these kind of something that would work for both Christmas, which she celebrates, and New Year's, because that's around the time she'll be wearing these. So I thought these stars and the color I eventually choose, which is a jelly yellow, would be nice for both Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, and I think honestly these nails look beautiful without the jelly on top as well. I guess I'm just kind of a sucker for stars. Also, my boyfriend I've done these nails before, and he likes to call them the carnival nails because they remind him of the carnival rides that kind of look like this. It's, I guess, just sort of like a car paint finish or whatever, but they do really kind of end up looking like that. It's funny. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess the jelly on top of that really intense glitter is what does it. But yes, these are the carnival nails. They look great with a lot of different colors. I did try a few different colors. She loves yellow, this friend, so I ended up going with that. But you can do this with any jelly color. So yeah, and I also have tried this before with like a kind of an ombre of jellies on top, and I think that looks really pretty as well. So I'm just finishing this up again, taking my time, trying to get as clean of lines as possible. And it looks like I'm all done with these. Off camera, I do the last two, but we'll show you the full cure and then the final result. And there they are. Sorry, this is not the final result, but this is after the hard part is done. So now I'm taking this Fiote jelly yellow polish. I think I'll probably put up a video of me unboxing my Zillabo Black Friday purchase. It includes this and a whole collection of jellies that are beautiful and really versatile. So anyway, this one is yellow. And yeah, I just love the way it looks. You'll see that I'm going over to try and get kind of an even coat of the jelly polish. It definitely shows if it's not even. Like you can see right there, you can definitely see if there's like a thicker part of jelly polish. So you want to take your time and make sure that your coat is even. And you could absolutely go in with a second coat. I decided to keep one coat on this one. But, you know, whatever you want to do is fine. Obviously play around with it. And yeah, I don't know. Something about this is just, I'm a sucker for it. I don't even think you can see in video exactly how like just super sparkly these are. But yeah, they're just gorgeous. So we're finishing this up and then I'm going to pop these in for a full cure. And after that, you'll see how I'm doing a little bit of finishing work to try and ensure that these stay on my friend's nails. So let's go in for the full cure. Oh, I almost forgot. We have to top coat them. This is the same Izemi top coat that I used, I think, in the last video. Again, really like it, but you could use any top coat here. And going in for a full cure. And then this is how I'm going to finish them off. So, you know, I've watched other people do press-ons and they haven't showed that they do this. But this friend, I don't think would have an easy time of etching the inside of the tip herself. It's really easy to do with an e-file and a pumice bit. And I'm doing this for two reasons. One is that I was seeing that I had kind of gotten some polish on the inside of the nail tip here, and definitely having like a little gob of polish is not going to help with adhering the tip to the nail. So I'm getting off any little bits of polish, and then I'm also creating a rough surface on the back of the tip so that it's more likely to adhere well with her nail. Of course, it's probably pretty intuitive, but your nail doesn't want to stick to something that's a smooth surface. So creating a little bit of a rough surface where the nail will be attached is helpful. Again, I'm curious to see how these will last for her. She will be reporting back, and I'll probably make her some more as well. She wears press-ons all the time, so she'll have kind of a good sense of how these compare to the ones that you can just buy, you know, at the store. I don't actually know which ones she uses, but... So I did do this on all the nails, but I'm just showing a couple because it's the same process. And hey, look, there's the final reveal. This is such a fun nail set to try. I hope you do. Again, the video doesn't do it justice, but they're super, super sparkly. Here they are, literally sticky tacked to my fingers just to try and model them. I hope that this was helpful in some way to anyone who's watching, and if you give them a try, let me know. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the future. Bye.